Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. So in this part we are going to be doing the first part of the measure of morality. So request for routine assistance from an ally turns into an unexpected trial, part 1 of 2.
The long-range sensor arrays in the Trailer system went offline recently. Last thing they picked up before that happened was a Borg scout ship. I'm heading to Trailus now to investigate. If this is the beginning of a new Borg incursion, I could use some backup. Meet me there as soon as you can.
And going by the background, she's apparently heading there in a shuttle. That will potentially take you a while to arrive, but so be it.
Until next time.
Just go ahead and transwarp over. Let's see, the Trailer system hosts a blue-white star and large dust accretions which can easily hide starship movements. The Federation maintains a network of satellites in this system to surveil movements of various enemy groups such as the True Way and Orion pirates. Ah yes, because it's tucked down in this little corner bordering the Klingon space.
Thanks for coming. Been a while. You look well. Considering what I hear about your exploits, that's an impressive feat. Back to business. Spotting a Borg scout here made a lot of people nervous, and with good reason.
I can imagine.
So, some old friends called in a favor, and here I am. I came here looking for Borg, but the real problem turned out to be sabotage. Orion smugglers fouled up the long-range array, but they left the short-range sensors intact. I have plenty of evidence from the sensor logs to turn over to Alliance officials.
Okay, and for whatever reason, the audio quality for her suddenly changed between those two sets of dialogue and the Borg.
Still a concern. If they're sizing up this quadrant as an incursion zone, we need to know about it. I have a few ideas on upgrading the sensor arrays, making them harder to disable and better at spotting Borg. Beam me over and we can sort out the details.
Very well, stand by for transport.
With your assistance, I can complete the modifications quickly.
Very well, and we'll just leave your runabout sitting there. Federation property, but whatever. Guess we decided, oh, it's not that important to go ahead and make sure it's not just left sitting back there unattended. I remember playing these missions back when they first came out. Some seriously bad rubber banding back then. But then again, I did play them on release day, so let's go ahead and perform the updates.
Good. Now that we have a working array, our next step will be initiating the new security protocols. Hold on. Are you seeing this? The long-range sensors just lit up like a Davo table.
Analysis?
Reading a massive energy surge. We're being scanned. Something's overriding all our control systems, attempting to bypass.
Shields up, brace for impact.
Warning, ship is under attack.
It's perfectly normal.
Oh, that was unpleasant. Still, there are no damage reports, no casualties.
Where are we?
Scanning. This is unexpected.
Care to enlighten us?
According to astrometrics, we were catapulted several hundred light years from Trailus to the Excalibur system.
Excalibur? Seem to recall a few space legends about this place.
There's some facts to go along with those legends. In the 23rd century, Excalbians abducted the USS Enterprise and subjected some of her crew to a series of combats. Some sort of morality test.
I don't like the look of this. Is it possible we're here for the same reasons?
Feels that way to me. I doubt they dragged us all the way out here to have a Ractogino and talk about baseball. There's one way to find out for sure. Hail them and see what they want.
Lots of atmospheric interference on Excalibur. We can't establish comms.
I can boost the signal once the ship is in a standard orbit. Assuming the Excaliburs are in a talking mood, we should have answers soon.
Agreed. Helm, take us into standard orbit over Excalibur. Now, I never noticed the Alliance Vanity Shield actually changed them, or actually affected the Aquarius escort. I assume they all do that, but I've honestly never noticed it before. Go ahead and boost comm signal.
We are receiving your signal. On behalf of the Excalibian people, I bid you welcome.
Forgive me, sir. I wasn't expecting to speak with Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, I suppose that would be a bit of a surprise. You'll pardon me for that, I hope. Some time ago, I met and fought beside one of your own, Captain James Kirk. Under the circumstances, we felt seeing a familiar face would make this meeting go a little smoother.
I see. Why are we here, Mr. President?
That is a complicated matter, I'm afraid. I think it would be easier to discuss it face to face. We prepared a meeting ground on the surface of Excalibur. It meets your needs for atmosphere and climate, as I understand them. Will you join us there?
We accept your gracious invitation, Mr. President. We'll beam down at once. Okay, come along, Finn. Take its sweet time. There we go.
Welcome, friends. I do hope the local climate is to your liking.
The climate's fine. It's our abduction that we have a problem with, friend.
My apologies. It was not an action of my choosing, I can assure you.
Your presence is required for a matter of great importance.
Greater than conversations with dead presidents?
Long ago, the two of us were involved in a study, if you will.
An evaluation of two concepts, good and evil. The initial results were ultimately inconclusive.
The debate has continued since that time.
We now seek a final resolution.
What does that have to do with us, exactly?
You have been chosen as advocates for the concept of good.
But you will not face it alone.
Hello. Looks like we have a lot of work to do here.
That's putting it mildly.
Okay, let's see what Yarnik has to say.
You have questions. I will attempt to clarify our intentions.
We're listening.
In this trial, you will be accompanied by associates that we have created for you. You will confront a variety of situations in opposition to evil forces. Your actions will be judged, as will those of your opponents. The prevailing concept will guide us as a people. We shall pursue the virtues of good, or the vices of evil.
Why have you chosen violence as a means to evaluate the concepts?
We find violent conflicts produce pure examples of good and evil. They provide the best results to evaluate and judge.
And if we refuse to participate in this trial?
Failure to participate will be seen as your endorsement of the supremacy of evil. The trial will then conclude with a judgment in favor of evil, and our subsequent pursuit of the concept as a guiding principle.
Fight or evil wins by default. That's not much of a choice.
The trial awaits you. Proceed through the portal behind me when you are prepared.
Very well. Let's get this over with.
I think we need to be cautious when dealing with the Excalibians. They're a lot like Q, minus a sense of humor. Fashion sense could use a little work, too.
Indeed. Recommendations?
For now, I say we play their game and stay in one piece. Look for opportunities to swing things in our favor. Our new teammate here might have some insight into the situation as well.
Good point. Anything you'd like to add, Commander?
Michael Burnham, of the USS Discovery.
The Discovery, Crossfields class, served with distinction, reported missing in action.
Judging by your uniforms, I'd say I'm in the future. The last thing I remember was preparing for battle with my crew, and the crew of the Enterprise. Since we're having this discussion, I'm guessing we won that fight. My apologies, my memory's a bit fuzzy. Possibly a side effect of whatever brought me here.
Indeed. Welcome to 2411, Commander.
Over 150 years. Fascinating. Right. I'll catch up later, assuming we get through this trial in one piece. To address your original question, I wish I had all the answers, but I know as much as you do. Going through this trial will give us the chance to conduct some tests of our own, learn more about them and the situation here.
Now, I do know that at least Romulans get some different dialogue during this. Or rather, unique dialogue. I don't know if Klingons get any unique dialogue, but I want to assume they probably do. For the simple reason that Klingons look different in Discovery, particularly Season 1, compared to TNG, well, basically all the stuff that in lore takes place from TMP afterwards. So I assume Klingons probably also get some unique dialogue, but I know Romulans do, with you being confused for a Vulcan and then you say something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm not a Vulcan, I'm a Romulan." I don't recall the exact dialogue, but it's something to that effect. Agreed, let's not keep the omnipotent beings waiting then.
Take heart, my friends. Yarnik has a forceful personality, but his voice is not the only one heard here. There are many ex-Calbians who would embrace virtues before vices.
And I also kind of wonder if Jem'Hadar get any unique dialogue. If anyone happens to know if there's any unique dialogue for Klingons in Jem'Hadar, please feel free to let me know. I'll probably eventually play through this mission on my Jem'Hadar and on my Klingon, but I just haven't bothered because, I'll be honest, I've played a lot of these missions so many times now that I just can't be bothered to replay through them on alts and whatnot. It's good to have allies.
Well said. And as one of your allies here, I have a warning for you. The trials are drawn from your past experiences and records, but they will not be identical recreations. There will be alterations to test your responses and those of your opponents. Expect the unexpected.
Thank you for the information.
Please accompany me. Beyond that portal, the first trial awaits. Good luck, my friends.
My tricorder's showing a Class M tropical biome. By the look of things, this world is under attack. I'm reading a lot of weapons fire from several locations in the area.
I can't tell what the hell those ships are that are flying up there, because they're literally 2D models. I mean, I can tell these are Scorpions, but those other things, I can't tell what they're supposed to be. Because they don't look anything like any ships I can recall seeing in the game, or even outside of the game. Well, whatever they are. This is Brea 3. I've been here before, during this battle, in fact.
This is a safe position for now, but that could change soon. We need to get to cover fast. I see a plaza ahead. And casualties. Enemy forces may be in the area.
I'm trying to recall what... Oh, I think Brea 3 was the mission where you go after, Hakeev or whatever his name was, something like that. Yeah. I think that's this mission, and he's got the giant Iconian gateway arch thing. Ready weapons and move out.
This didn't happen long ago. Some of the bodies are still warm. When did this take place, originally? I don't recognize the uniforms on these Vulcans.
They aren't Vulcans. They're Romulans.
Romulans? You're serious? Those are Romulans. This is a lot to take in.
Romulans are an offshoot of Vulcans who left after the Time of Awakening.
The Romulans are... I clearly have a lot of catching up to do. But the middle of a war zone isn't an ideal place for a history lesson.
Agreed.
These Romulans are Tal Shiar, members of a covert military intelligence force. Their list of enemies is long. Any number of them could be responsible for this attack.
In this case, it's Reman partisans.
This one was killed by heavy plasma weaponry. Strange. I'm also reading trace amounts of several exotic particles in the area. Antiproton, tachyon. Whoever else was in this fight used some extremely advanced weapons.
Sounds like Iconian weaponry.
Makes sense. The Iconians were allies of the Tal Shiar at this time. They were probably fighting at their side. This may be one of the unexpected changes Lincoln warned us about. Iconians arriving here early.
That's an unpleasant thought.
Some kind of constructs. They're using anti-proton weapons.
Heralds. That's fine.
That opening shot really hurt.
Those were Iconians?
Not quite. They were heralds, harbingers of things to come.
Heralds are augmented servants of the Iconians. They were used primarily as shock troops. We've encountered them before, but if they're here now, things are worse than expected. There's a tactical force field blocking our way. That looks like the emitter over there. Should be simple enough to destroy it.
Let's take it out and move onward. Finn, you could be more useful.
Tal Shiar and Heralds fighting Reman combat squads. Wonderful.
So, these Remans, they're on our side. Good to know.
Well, I mean, not quite accurate. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly completely accurate either.
You there! I would speak with you. Your timing is fortuitous, my old friend. My resistance forces are closing in on Hakiv's laboratory, but he has opened an Iconian gate. The Iconians have sent their minions to aid Hakiv, but all is not lost. We can still stop them.
You know, I'm trying to think. Realistically, at this point, I don't think Obasek would refer to us as his old friend. Because I believe this character tried to apprehend him forcefully when he didn't surrender himself. So, if I recall correctly, that resulted in us needing to kill a whole bunch of Remans in his base. Well, not necessarily kill, but you get my point. Defeat a whole bunch of Remans in his base, along with the Tal Shiar, I believe, as well. It's possible I'm misremembering what this character did way back then, but I believe we've tried to forcefully apprehend him rather than just let him go. So, yeah. I don't think he would consider us an old friend at that time. But whatever.
The lab is not far from here. If we can fight our way past the guards, we can put an end to all this. And Hakiv.
Sure, let's act like Obasek can tell us anything about what's going on in this trial. Realistically, it's unlikely he'd be able to give us any information.
Excalbians? No, Iconians. Hakiv has brought them here. They're putting up quite a fight. I'll need all the help I can get to stop him. Will you help us?
I see. Yes, let's find and stop Hakiv.
Looks like there's another tactical force field blocking the way. This Hakiv really doesn't want to be interrupted, does he?
Delaying tactics. Let's find and destroy the shield emitter quickly.
It may not be in an obvious place. Check the nearby buildings and rooftops.
If you wanted to give me the information that it may not be in an obvious place, you probably should have done it after the first one. Because come the second one, I know what I'm looking for. But whatever. Good point. Spread out and signal the group if you spot the emitter. It's right there. See? It's right there. Like I said, if you wanted to provide that information to say, oh, it may not be in an obvious spot, that should be at your first run-in with the item in question, not the second.
Excellent. Hakiv has holed up in the south like the cornered vermin he is. Once we're near his position, I can set up a jamming field to prevent him from beaming out. Then we can bring him to justice, at last.
So I can only assume somebody wasn't quite paying attention in their level design course. Where they said, if you want to give a tutorial for an item, or whatever, for a player, you give them that tutorial upon their first run-in with the item or object or whatever in question. Not the second time around. Because come the second time around, they know what they need to do. In theory, because they would have already done it once before.
You might be able to block transporters, Obasek, but I doubt you can block a functional Iconian gate. As long as that remains open, Hakiv will be able to escape. Deal with the gate first, then you can talk about justice all you want.
Agreed. Let's shut that gate down. Come on, take out the medic. I didn't even see that one back there.
Ambush! Look out!
Ah, Jesus Christ, too many grenades. Finn, and Finn's down. Because Finn doesn't quite understand the concept of run away. Okay, Finn, let's get you back up. Not exactly the brightest Vulcan we've ever had. But you've been with us for a while. Though you have been renamed a number of times, but we're just going to ignore that fact.
Obasek. So good of you to join us today. I've dreamed of ridding the galaxy of your stench for some time. And now, with the Iconians at my side, that dream shall become a reality.
This ends now, Hakiv. No amount of Iconian or Tal Shiar's scum will stop me. Blood calls for blood.
We have bigger problems. The Iconian gate is still online, remember? Hakiv can bring in Iconian reinforcements as long as it is.
Then let's shut it down. Keep Hakiv and his forces busy while we work, or this trial will end real soon. And not in our favor.
Understood. You'll have the time you need, Commander. Ouch. Okay, that's kind of hurting. And Finn's already down. Yeah. I know you need help. You're getting shot at by so many different things. Oh shit. Game, of course, decides I'm going to spawn this guy right on top of you.
He has a stealth. Spread out.
Hey, I don't care. I've got bigger things to deal with. A friggin' defiler that got spawned right on top of me. And it doesn't help that I had these guys up top.
You think you've stopped me? The Iconians already know. They know everything.
I don't care. Blood calls for blood, Hakiv.
No, not like this. You're better than this. If you do this, it won't be justice. It'll be murder. You don't have to do this.
He must pay for what he's done.
Ariete!
Alright, what's the call?
God, our aim
Help
sucks.
Obasek or catch Hakeem?
Obasek's in bad shape. He needs field surgery right now, or he's not going to make it. I can't do this alone. I need your help to save him.
Hakeem's getting away. If he leaves through a gateway, he could return with enough Iconians to finish us off. Do you want to pursue him?
We need to save Obasek. He's too valuable as a friend and ally. More accurately, somebody much worse could potentially replace Obasek if he were to die, so it's in our best interest that he live. No, Obasek, stay still, damn it. There. God, Obasek, just, I don't know what his deal was. Yep, I still don't know what his deal was. But I think he... Yeah, he's bugged out. This is all hell. I don't know why or how, but he is.
Rest easy, friends. This part of the trial has reached its conclusion. There's a portal nearby. Use it to return to Yarnik. He wishes to review the results of the trial.
Very well. Let's see what he has to say about all this.
At a critical moment, you move to save Obasek's life. Because of this, Hakiv escapes and convinces the Iconians to pursue a scorched earth assault on their enemies. Millions more die in the following war as a result.
It was a hard...
choice,
Oh,
to be sure.
I thought he had finished talking. It was a hard choice, but I stand by my decision.
To callously leave an ally to die upon the battlefield is not the mark of a strong soul. Saving the life of a comrade in the fight against evil was a brave and noble act, one worthy of praise rather than scorn.
The trial continues. Proceed through the nearby portal when you are ready to begin the next evaluation.
If memory serves me correctly, I believe there's like 3 of these trials. And each one takes roughly that same amount of time, I want to say. Very well.
Come this way for your next trial.
Any idea where we are? I haven't seen anything like this.
This is the Anorax, a Krenim vessel built for a temporal war.
Yes, some of this tech is very advanced, most likely from the future. Anorex was heavily modified after a scientist named Noy stole it from Kiana Station.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Damage control teams. Ship's gonna be a rough fight.
Depending on where we are, this fight could be a result of us.
This looks like some kind of command station.
Secure the area. We might be able to find useful data here.
Wonderful. Wait till we're out of combat. Just, make sure we don't accidentally have any other dialogue that starts playing. Let's go ahead and read Captain's log about Admiral Lita.
My plan to recruit Admiral Lita to the Temporal Liberation Front was a success. Keeping her loyalty, however, is quite challenging. Like so many Terrans, her dreams of empire are strong. As long as those dreams remain in her reality, our partnership shall continue. The moment her dream takes hold in our reality, my reality, then the honeymoon, as they say, is over.
Okay, next log. Let's go ahead and read his log about Azure and Boratsu, or Boratus.
The petty squabbles over the Tox Utat have become tiresome. First Krog, and now Azure and Boratus. They growl and demand and threaten to depart over the artifact like petulant children. If it were not a critical element of my plans, I would have left it on Ryza, along with the corpses of Picard and his charming thief.
Sphere builders.
The Sphere Builders grow suspicious of my inquiries. I believe they begin to realize what my ultimate goal is, what I shall do once this war is won. Today, at Procyon 5, I will undo what the Alliance has done to them, to me, to my family. I will bring back my wife and child. All of this is for them, and no one will stop me. Krog becomes impatient, despite her successful recovery of the Tox Utat and the restoration of the Nakul Star. She wants more. She wants revenge. It is tempting to use the Tox Utat on Sol, on Vulcan, on every star in the Alliance, but I have a better use for it at Procyon 5. Nakul vengeance shall have to wait.
Funny, I've been to Procyon 5. It's unremarkable. In our time, at least. Looks like things change considerably in the next century.
It sounds like she said sensory, not century. Indeed, we're in the middle of the final battle in a temporal war.
And on the bridge of the enemy flagship, no less. Judging by the look of things, the battle may not be going well for this Temporal Liberation Front.
Agreed.
We should leave. By now, we've been detected by their security systems, and I'd rather not be around when they send combat teams to retake the bridge.
Good point, Commander. Let's move out.
There's a turbo lift down this way.
And you know this how? Go ahead and take care of these guys. Wonderful.
This door here.
Okay.
I'm detecting a massive buildup of temporal energy ahead.
Yeah, along with multiple life forms, all armed.
Oh, this is fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Nice try, but you're done.
No, bad. Bad medic. Take out Admiral Lita. Almost done.
You haven't seen the last of me!
No, of course we haven't. You always run away whenever you're losing the battle.
I see him. Noise on the upper platform.
You do? I don't see him. I'm pretty sure I'm not blind, so... yeah, I don't see him at all.
Waste time as you see fit, Colonel. It will be for naught.
Take out these guys. Now to deal with Krog. No, back up Krog. What is it with you and the whole charging me with a sword thing?
History shows you have a habit of meddling in the affairs of others.
We believe it is time to break you of that habit.
And Finn's down. And 7 is temporarily out. So I gotta fight him by myself. But Baratsu has been dealt with. Gotta deal with the Azure. Okay, 7's back up. And then immediately knocked back down. Get Finn back up. And let's go ahead and confront Noi.
Here to parley? Or shall we just start shooting at one another?
I mean, does it really matter?
You. Apparently Daniels hasn't grown weary of plucking you out of time and sending you to vex me. How many times have I killed you now? 4? 5? Honestly, I've lost count. It doesn't matter. Before I kill you, again, understand this. After today, the Alliance ends forever, and you with it. Daniels won't be around to save you this time.
Stand down, Noi. Your insanity ends here, now.
I will fight this battle again and again until I stand victorious.
Well then, I guess you'll be fighting this battle a lot.
Living in the past when exercising futility.
I will not be defeated. I control time itself.
Come on, game. Come on, game. Freaking select the enemy. Thank you. God. You know, tab targeting generally does a pretty good job of actually selecting the enemy. I think part of the issue is that Noi is, for whatever reason, still considered a targetable opponent. Realistically, he shouldn't be. Because by marking him as targetable, it screws with the auto target if you try to attack without a target.
Enough! I will erase you all!
You can't control time.
If anything, time controls us.
Deep, but wasted on Noy. His grief blinds him to things of logic and truth.
I'm so close! I won't let you win!
Okay, go ahead and deal with these guys. Okay, 7 should be getting back up at some point, presumably. There we go. Can't get Finn up until after this is all said and done.
The core is ready. I end you and take my ship back in time.
You cannot stop our plans.
I'm just gonna keep shooting away.
No! I've come too far! This time I'll make sure you're never born! Even if I have to shoot you in the cradle!
Noy! Husband, please! You don't have to do this.
How can this be? You were lost.
I'm here now, husband.
Oh no, how could anybody have possibly seen this happening?
Cloud.
Of course, this war needed to end, Noy.
Before it consumed us all.
There she is.
Noy was a danger to all life, even in the Dominion. I could no longer sit back and watch as the Alliance failed to stop him, time and time again. So, I have done what you could not. Now, we must destroy this vessel, so it can never be used again. Let us end this war, once and for all.
Do you think that will end the conflict?
She's got a point. Without Noy, without Anorex, the TLF will lack the power and leadership needed to fight the Alliance. The war will end. And who knows, maybe there'll be a chance at a lasting peace this time. Stranger things have happened.
True.
The situation could have been avoided. He was finished. You didn't need to execute him.
That's true. The fight was over.
Maybe we can still do this the right way.
Go on.
This is a time ship. We should be able to generate a localized temporal spike and send ourselves back to a point before this whole situation goes too far. Let's finish this without resulting to cold-blooded murder.
Agreed. We need to make things right here. God, blinding white light.
No! I've come too far! This time I'll make sure you're never born! Even if I have to shoot you in the cradle!
Noy! Husband, please! You don't have to do this.
Noy, look out! She's a changeling!
Solids are irrational, fearful creatures. You cannot be trusted.
I mean, if we can't be trusted, I'm pretty sure changelings can be trusted even less.
Imposter! How dare you!
Also, Finn, get up. You had a nice lazy day.
You could have kept silent and let that thing execute me while wearing the face of my wife. But you didn't. If you are willing to save my life now, perhaps you're willing to work toward making things right for all who have been lost.
An admirable goal.
Indeed. Very well. It appears the time has come. I speak for my forces, and I surrender. The Battle of Procyon 5 is over, and with it, the temporal war. I'm trusting you to do the right thing here. Don't make me regret that decision.
I will. You made the right choice, Noi.
I believe that will be enough for this trial. Yarnik awaits our return. He will, no doubt, have things to discuss after observing your actions here.
Of that, I have no doubt. Let's go.
Let's return.
Okay, Yarnik, what do you gotta complain about this time?
The Founder ended one life to save trillions, yet you undid her efforts to save a dangerous enemy. The Founder was killed. As a result, the Dominion falls to disarray, and the Herc invasion ravages 3 galactic quadrants before it is finally stopped.
I believe we did the right thing in the end.
To kill a man in cold blood, even an enemy, that comes with a terrible burden to bear for the executioner. Delivering Noi to justice was an admirable decision, one the Founder could have easily made herself. Doing so would have saved not only her life, but the lives of many others as well.
Your participation in the trial has been informative thus far, but we require more data to make our decision. Another scenario has been prepared. Enter the portal when you are ready to begin.
If you insist.
This way.
This place isn't familiar. Either of you know where we are?
I don't recognize it either. Commander?
I know where we are, I just don't know when. Knowing that's gonna make all the difference here, believe me. Let's take a look at those consoles and see if there's any useful information in them.
Very well, let's figure this out quickly.
Science officer's log. ESOF 4 was a test site for Section 31's Project Daedalus. It appears to be abandoned. The planet's atmosphere is toxic to most life forms, but we were able to establish a safe work area and habitat. We've set up a plasma reactor to power the phase discriminators to capture the Red Angel. If the plan works, that is. If it doesn't, this may be my final log entry. This is a recent entry, but the area is deserted. We need to know more. Science officer's log. Control found us. We fought valiantly, but Discovery wasn't a match for Control's Section 31 ships. What's left of her crashed, not far from here. Somehow, Saru and Tilly were able to transfer the sphere data to this location. But it's only a matter of time before Control figures that out and comes to collect its prize. I need to get the sphere data somewhere Control can't find it. someone from Discovery has survived, and they make it here before Control does. If Tilly was here, she'd be fond of optimism. But I know what that atmosphere can do. I don't think anyone else is going to make it. Logic suggests that I take steps to destroy the sphere data before it's too late. For now, I'm sticking with optimism. As Spock would say, there are always possibilities. Everything matches up to the point where Discovery crashes. That's where things change, and for the worse. Judging by the lack of survivors present, I think we have to finish what they started. If that's even possible. Do you have a question?
Thank God this is the last trial, though I believe there is a bit of a... Yeah, if I recall correctly, there's sort of a survive a timer type thing or whatever after this. Because, quite frankly, I'm actually sort of starting to get tired. This is the downside of needing to record at night. Granted, it's still earlier than it was a number of weeks back, but it's still at night, and my normal recording time was like in the morning. Because, you know, I was awake, had breakfast, all that jazz. Now it's 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Tell us about Control.
Control is a sophisticated artificial intelligence created by Section 31. It was originally designed as a threat assessment program, but it evolved into something terrible. If it collects the sphere data, Control will pursue a path that ultimately leads to a complete loss of life in the galaxy. We cannot let that happen.
Also doesn't help that it's starting to get warm here, so I need to turn a fan on 1 second. I do expect that noise to get picked up by the microphone, sadly, but there's really nothing I can do about it. Luckily, I do apply a filter to my microphone during rendering, so a noise filter, so that should help to... where you should only hear it when I'm talking, in theory. No idea if it'll actually work that way. But either way, tell us about this sphere data.
The sphere was a life form. It was extremely old and collected a vast amount of invaluable data over the course of its life. It passed that information on to the crew of Discovery before it died. Control did everything it could to acquire the data, particularly the data on artificial intelligence. It wants that data to achieve sentience. If that happens, it's all over. Control will be unstoppable.
Curiosity, how long has this gone? This has gone 53 minutes right now. I fully expect this to take me a decent amount of time to render, and then YouTube, because evidently YouTube seems to be having some problems when it comes to processing my videos in a timely fashion. Oh, that YouTube's gonna take forever, and I have to process this video particularly. Let's make sure that doesn't happen then.
We were so close to this. To failure. To death.
Finn, quit standing on boxes. Okay, open the door. Roger that. Set phase discriminators.
Good. Now we need to prepare the stasis beams at that console.
Very well. Prepare the stasis beams.
So far, so good. We need to use that console to prime the EMP next.
Okay, get the EMP ready to go.
Almost finished. Use that console to align the containment field.
When you say that console, you mean this console or one of those other consoles? Let's go ahead and align the containment field. Okay, and let's talk. And I stepped forward, close enough to auto-trigger the conversation, and then the game pushed me back. Now let's try speaking to you.
We've set up the trap. Now all it needs is the bait. Me. You'll need to go back to the previous room, close the door, and turn off the vents.
And expose you to a toxic atmosphere.
Yes. Assuming things go as they did before, the Red Angel will appear in time to save my life. When that happens, activate the trap.
Very well. Good luck, Commander. Okay, Seven and Finn, let's get out of here. Remember to keep the lanes clear, which we evidently are not doing. Okay, close the door and open the vents.
I've done all I can with these ancient phase discriminators. We should have the power we need for this little stunt. But we're only getting one shot, so make it count. No pressure.
Thanks, Seven.
Right. Do it.
Initiate sequence on my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Wait, abort! Do not engage. Picking up a massive surge of tachyon radiation.
She's here! Do it! Do it now!
Activate the phase discriminators. Activating EMP.
What are you doing? We don't have time for this. Discovery is gone. We have to deal with it ourselves. We have to stop Control now, or it all ends.
And now we have 2 burn-ups. That's gonna be interesting.
Very much so. So what do we call them? Burnham 1 and Burnham 2? Okay, Burnham 2, what do you say?
I get the feeling you were expecting someone else in that suit, Commander.
Yes. My mother. She designed the suit with my father. And used it to escape a Klingon attack. In doing so, she learned how Control ended all life in the future. After that, she used the suit to try and stop that from happening. Clearly, in this reality, the task has fallen to me.
How can we help?
Transfer the sphere data to my suit so I can take it into the future, where Control can never find it. We need to act fast. Control is on its way here now. This needs to happen before it arrives.
Understood. Let's get to work. Okay. This other console.
How?
Not creepy at all.
The sensor log said Discovery went down with all hands.
Struggle is pointless.
Control's using members of Discovery's crew as shock troops.
Yes, we've met Stamets before. And Lorca. And Landry. We met Killy. I don't think we ever actually met Tilly, however.
If I leave the field, I'll return to the future. You'll have to fight Control without me.
Uh-huh.
Control can't be killed with regular weapons. You need to do something unconventional.
Which I don't think is strictly true.
It'll disrupt it. Weaken it and lure it to me. I'll I'll distract it while you give it a magnetic shock.
Because we're doing damage to its shields. Okay, we do technically do damage to it. It's just, it's 1 point each.
I've got its attention, quick! Magnetize the floor! It worked! Do it again!
Ouch. So, yeah, in theory, you could technically kill Control without doing it the proper way, but it would take significantly longer.
It's distracted! Give it another blast! Magnetize the floor again!
Which does have me curious.
Good! One more shock should finish it off!
If there's like an accolade for killing Control without doing it the proper way. Unless Control becomes untargetable once it's inside here. I don't actually know. I wasn't paying any attention. I guess we can see next time the phase discriminators grab it. See if we're still allowed to target Control or if Control becomes untargetable after getting inside the area here.
Hurry!
Really?
Finish it off!
Okay, it becomes untargetable, it looks like. So never mind, I was wrong. There is no way to kill it the old-fashioned way. Speak to our allies.
Control is using nanites to take over the future version of me. If that happens, it'll gain access to the sphere data.
What are our options?
I can try to inoculate future Burnham with my own nanites. This should prevent Control from accessing the sphere data through her, but it'll alter her biosignature. She won't be compatible with the suit if this works.
Commander Burnham?
Too risky. The suit could wind up trapped here. Given time, Control could find a way to access the sphere data. We need to think about destroying the data. Purge it from the suit before Control can access it.
You could do that, but losing that data, all of that knowledge gone forever. Consider this. The means of eliminating Control could be held within the sphere data as well. Deleting it could be a fatal mistake.
The data is too valuable to lose. Inoculate Michael.
Get ready. This is gonna sting. A lot.
Do it. That's a little more than a damn sting.
Get it right. Resistance is futile.
This is fine. Okay, Burnham number 2, how are you doing? Still alive?
It worked. The sphere data is secure within the suit, and future Burnham is immune to Control nanites. As I predicted, her biosignature has been altered enough to prevent her from using the suit. This Red Angel will fly no more.
Unfortunate, but the sphere data is secure. That's what matters most.
Unfortunately, we have a new problem. At the end, before it beamed out, I think what was left of Control merged with some of my nanites.
Along with some of your genetic material.
Yeah, and now there's a Borg Control hybrid version of me running loose somewhere. Whatever the Excalbians are doing here needs to stop now.
Agreed. We need to get through to them. This has gone too far.
Rest easy. The trial of Esau 4 has come to an end.
You sure, Lincoln?
My apologies, friends. These events must have taken a heavy toll upon all of you. We should return to speak with Yarnik now. Let us leave this place.
I think we've all seen enough of Esau 4. Let's go.
Come along, my friends.
And blinding white light again. No. Oh, okay, good. It didn't stay for very long. Okay, Yarnik, what do you got to say? Also, okay, I was just curious.
While we appreciate the pursuit of knowledge, we also realize that it can lead to catastrophe. Because of your decision to preserve the data, control continues to exist. The fate you work to prevent, the end of all life, will still come to pass.
In your trial, that simulation, yes.
The future is a very mutable notion. It is entirely possible that the actions taken today forestall Control's march to supremacy. The data preserved could very well hold the key to its defeat, along with many wonders long lost to the ravage of time. In the end, a life was saved, along with priceless knowledge. Both very good things, in my estimation.
I have my concerns regarding this trial. Yarnik isn't a very impartial judge, and he's clearly a prominent figure in Excavian society. If his opinion of our actions continues downward, the situation could become volatile in a hurry. Still, it could be worse. We still have time to present our case here. Hopefully we will win some Excavian hearts and minds in the process.
I have been informed that Yarnik and the others wish to privately discuss the results of the trials. You are free to return to your vessel, or remain here until the recess reaches its conclusion. Once that happens, you will be summoned to continue the trial. How would you like to proceed?
7. Commander Burnham, your thoughts?
As much as I'd like to see what a ship of this time period is like, I feel like we should stay here. We might have the opportunity to speak with Excavians other than Yarnik and see what they think of all this.
True. Any insight on this trial or its possible results would be valuable.
I'm not as optimistic as Commander Burnham when it comes to the Excavians. Returning to the ship has its benefits. I could use a drink. Several, actually. I leave the decision to you.
Let's take a break while they deliberate. Okay, so that is part 1 of the measure of mortality. I always want to say measure of mortality. I don't know why. The measure of morality. So next time we will do part 2, which will be, as a result, that will finish off the current Ja'ula's discovery story arc. Although I do want to note, measure of morality makes no sense to be in the Ja'ula's discovery arc, mostly because Ja'ula is literally nowhere to be seen. If one of those trials in part 1 involved Ja'ula, I could kind of understand tossing it into this story arc, but because she's not involved at all, the reality is measure morality should probably be in its own short little 2-mission story arc, or potentially just not even be a part of the main story and be a side mission type thing. That's just my opinion, because yeah, Ja'ula's not involved in any way in either part of measure of morality. So it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense for this to be part of the story arc that is focused on Ja'ula, quote unquote. Although admittedly also Parapacium and Illusion of Communication also don't involve Ja'ula in any way, so technically speaking, literally the only mission that involves Ja'ula is Beneath the Skin, The other missions there, Sentinel, Rescue, and Search, and whatnot, I think actually it's just those two. Yeah. No, Ruins of Doom as well. Actually, not Sentinels. It's Rescue and Search and Ruins of Doom. Those are the only two that involve fighting Discovery-era Klingons. Sentinels, you fight Alachi. Within the Briars, you... Actually, within the Briars, you also fight Klingon-era, or Discovery-era Klingons. And the Ninth Rule, randomly selected via a set of options that range from Orion to Fakiri to Discovery Mirror Universe. And I think there might be one more option, but I'm not recalling it off the top of my head. So, yeah. A lot of these missions, honestly, in Ju'ula's Discovery story arc don't involve Ju'ula in any way, shape, and or form. Beneath the Skin is the only real mission, like I said. But whatever, that's the way this story arc is. So next time we'll be finishing off Ju'ula's Discovery, and the part after that we will begin Klingon Civil War. So, like I said before, we're almost done with this series. Once this series is over, my plan is that I will record new content for it whenever new missions are released. But during that time between content releases, I won't be recording this at all, or at least that's the plan. Once Year of Klingon is a little bit further along with the mission remasters and whatnot, I might go and look into doing a sort of short Let's Play series as a KDF, where we play through the story arcs that are unique to KDF. And maybe we'll do something similar for Romulans, potentially. But that's stuff that I haven't quite finalized plans for, so we'll see. We're not going to bother doing anything for the Jem'Hadar, because literally the only thing the Jem'Hadar have going for them is the tutorial. I might also look into maybe doing a short series as well for TOS, potentially, because they do have some story missions that are unique to them. Just like with the Jem'Hadar, Discovery doesn't have any unique story missions. All their story missions are Age of Discovery. So we're not going to bother doing any missions as a Discovery era, or doing like a short Let's Play of a Discovery era Federation character. So yeah, we'll maybe do a short little Let's Play as a TOS fed Romulan and KDF. The KDF will probably be after Year of Klingon is over and they've, I guess, basically finished doing all of the remastered content that they plan to do. But yes, that'll be it for this part. I will see you all next time. Quick reminder, if you enjoy the content on the channel, the easiest and best way to help support the channel is to go and become a patron. You can find a link to that down in the description below. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to all of my videos, which can be helpful if you want to be able to give me tips and things like that. Doesn't really matter for this game, but for some of the other games that I do Let's Plays of, it might be potentially worthwhile if you really want to go and give me tips. But yeah, so that'll be it for this part. Like I said, I'll see you all next time. I also, actually, I almost forgot. I also have a Discord. I highly recommend you join it, even if it's only to stay updated on channel happenings, because that is the place I go to post if I'm not going to be able to record for a week or whatever the case may be. So I highly, highly recommend joining my Discord. You don't need to be active and talk in it. Obviously, it's great if you decide to do that, but it's not a requirement or anything. So yeah, that'll be it for this part. I will see you all next time, but until then, live long and prosper.